Ilhan Omar, a part of the crew, a part of the what did they call them? The whatever it was, Corey Bush, all of them, AOC, what was their name? The crew, the Stuck, or whatever like that. Anyway, she won her 2024 Democratic primary, so she didn't get ousted. The other two already got ousted, but she didn't get ousted. Check it out.
Thanks for joining us. Breaking this primary election night. Just in the last 20 minutes, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar declared the winner in the closely watched rematch against Don Samuels. Omar winning with a wider margin than 2 years ago, taking 56% of the vote to Samuels' 43. That's with 99% of the precincts reporting in the 5th District. Jennifer Hoff joins us now live from Omar's watch party. Hi, Jennifer.
Lauren, hello, and I have to start by saying forgive me because it's very loud in here tonight. Nighthawks right off Nicollet, packed with supporters, and she just arrived here in the last few minutes and is still speaking to the crowd right now. Tyler, are you able to show her and the people? Again, this place is packed. Omar, though, having the name recognition and the campaign funding over Don Samuels as those two, as Lauren just said, battle it out again. And what was one of the biggest differences this year compared to that race in 22 was really a lack of a divisive issue. And Omar supported a defund the police mantra that Samuels opposed, as did many voters. And the former Minneapolis council member gained enough momentum to only lose by 2 percentage points. Omar spent the...
Ain't it crazy? Because she spent an extraordinary amount of money. They literally be spending millions of dollars on these campaigns. We know that she's in Minnesota. And so, of course, identity politics is going to play a role, as evidenced by her and the person that is standing next to her, if we just want to be absolutely honest. Minnesota have now become a safe haven and a stronghold for the Somalian population, which obviously she embraces and she speaks to. And so identity politics is playing the same role as, African Americans in these stronghold cities and these urban communities is playing as far as how people are voting. And also on top of that, one of her initiatives that she supported, what she championed, even in this primary, was continuing to defund the police, which her opponent, which I actually did some research on, it was a man, a black man, an older black man, and he's incredibly intelligent, and he was against defunding the police, but he was still a Democrat, and she still wins. So this tells you that a lot of these elections is just like high school. It's a popularity contest. It's no different than electing whoever it was going to be the president, the vice president, and the treasurer of your high school and middle school and elementary school and all of that stuff. Ironically enough, I won treasurer in elementary school. Ain't that crazy? And I'm the treasurer of the bag chasers. But point is that they spent an extraordinary amount of money in order to keep this woman in office. Obviously, she represents the worst things for the community. She is elected also on identity politics and popularity. And so she is one of the few ones that survived as far as out of the squad and making sure she just so happened to be in the right city, in the right district, and in the right state. So she survived her Democratic primary.
Evening, though, with voters at the Dinkytown Target, like she always does during every election, as she now seeks a 4th term in November. She is a very progressive leader in her caucus and known to support child nutrition, student debt, and veterans issues. And if you're taking another live look here tonight, again at Nighthawks, where there is definitely a lot to celebrate. The district isn't the area's largest here, but it does include Minneapolis and many surrounding areas. The Congresswoman will likely go on to win in November now, as this is a district that no Republican has held in nearly 65 years. Back to you guys.
And so Jennifer, you don't have to worry about the possibility of any Republican or people voting based off of the right thing, because it's already, see, the real race for a lot of these people, and that's why they spend so much money. They don't spend $1,000 and all of this money on the actual real race against Democrat versus Republican. Once you get into it, the real race is in the primary. And so that's why it was such a big deal where Corey Bush lost, one of the squad members, and her, Omar, The race and where all of the money is going to be spent is in the primary, because they already know that they're going to go blue. A Republican hasn't held that particular position over there in Minnesota in over 65 years. So now she's basically celebrating, and this party is the celebration because they've already won and they already made their mark. Let me write that down. That's something that I need to address. I need to speak to that. I'm going to speak to that a little bit later. Anyways, in other news, migrants are expected to converge on the DNC, and there's a migrant surge happening in Chicago right before the Democratic National Convention. Take a look.
Migrant advocates are getting ready for a potential increase in asylum seekers. There's been a drop in the number of bus drop-offs in Chicago area, but Republican governors have said they will send a lot of people to sanctuary cities during the DNC. Casey Cronus picks up our team coverage. Casey?
Terrence, unless it is communicated by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, only time will tell exactly how many migrants will be dropped off here during next week's convention. But city officials say they are prepared to welcome thousands. Today, though, there is a new concern. Near Westside residents and business owners are calling on Mayor Brandon Johnson to shut down a shelter located at Walnut and Paulina. It is situated just a few blocks away from the United Center, where the majority of convention activities, of course, will take place, and located just 1 block from Union Park, where many of the DNC protests will be held. Members of the Fulton Market Association say the shelter has brought on drug dealing, street fights, loud music, and loitering. They are demanding the city shut it down by September 30th.
Did y'all hear what they just said that the migrant shelter basically brought in? Street fights, drug dealing, loud music. What is this, the black community of the 80s? Is this the black community of the 80s? Drug dealing, street fights, loud music, gangs, violence. You don't say. So you're telling me you bring the worst of another country into your city of Chicago. Chicago should be absolutely pissed. Chicago and New York should be pissed. If you are a resident of Chicago and New York and you pay your property taxes or you pay your rent and you go to work every day and you also paying them city taxes and you're not absolutely pissed at how it is that they're managing the city, all 50 aldermen, well, I guess you shouldn't be pissed. Let me take that back. Because you know how I feel. You know what I believe. I believe y'all deserve who y'all voted in. It's not like he said that he was going to do anything different. He's doing exactly what he said that he was going to do. And so, welcome. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Chicago, the migrant. We ain't got to worry about it. You know, it's a lot of people that be mad at me and they say, man, why you always, this was a little while ago before election season kicked in. Man, why you always talking about Chicago? I can't believe you talking about Chicago. Big dog. I'm the last thing that you got to worry about all the way over here in Detroit. You got to worry about that migrant shelter. They got loud music over there, and you got to worry about whether or not your daughter can go ride her bike and play in the neighborhood because they drug dealing right down the street. You have to worry about whether or not this newly formed gang culture is going to take over the current gang culture, and they running y'all up out of the city. Y'all got a war on y'all hands in Chicago. There was already a war in Chirac amongst the people. Now y'all got to figure out how to battle against the Venezuelan gangs that's over here. I'm the last thing that you got to worry about. You got to worry about surviving your own neighborhood and your own schools. You got to worry about whether or not they're going to change the language over there. This lady said all of the applications are in Spanish over there and she can't find a job no more. You ain't got to worry about me. You know what? Hey, this is just like what was it? Where Scarlet Witch first got introduced into the MCU on the Marvel movies. Why would you have to worry about me and you got to worry about fighting each other? That was the one where Loki had brought all of the Chitauri into the city in order to tear up New York and all of that stuff. And Captain America had to come in, and then Bruce Banner said, I'm always mad. That's the secret, Cap. You don't have to worry about me. You're going to be too busy fighting each other. I'm going to stroll right down the street, walk over, get a substandard Chicago pizza, deep dish pizza, and I'm going to ride right back over to Detroit, and you're going to be sitting there fighting with migrants trying to get them not to talk to your little kids as they walk up and down the street. So don't worry about me. You good. You got your hands full. You busy.
Here in my hand is a list of 400 calls to 911 from January through early May of this year. 400 calls. What we're saying to the mayor is that the only way Chicago survives, the only way, is we set our laws and we enforce our laws. And the mayor and the aldermen have said that this street, and the entire corridor are for businesses only.
No.
Okay?
No.
We have to help our businesses survive and operate.
As this afternoon's press conference was underway, some of the migrants living in that shelter became upset and confronted those hosting it.
Say something. Say something. I'm going to do a whole breakdown on this segment. This deserves its own segment. Let me do that for the Anton Daniels channel. We're not going to do that for the Millionaire Morning Show. Migrants confront Americans in Chicago. Yo, did you see them girls and stuff run up on my man? Look at him. Hey, look at him. Say something if you want to. Say something if you want to. Look at them. Look at them girls. They just like the ones that we don't like. They just like the ones that we talk about. Yo, them chicks, they got on Casio watches, Chicago Bull hats to the side. They got their kids with them, and they checking out on everybody that's over there, and the reporters backed up too. You got your hands full. You ain't got to worry about time, dog. They running y'all up out of your own city of Chicago. Say something. Say something. I dare you. I dare you. They ran up on y'all like y'all didn't even live there.
As this afternoon,
they forced you to negotiate, and they crewed up, and they walked over there as a unit.
This press conference was underway. Some of the migrants.
Look at them. Listen. Explain yourself. Explain yourself. You in our city now. Chicago is their city. Do it. Do it. I dare you. Say something. You won't be able to walk down the street again. Run up in your crib. We already got the loud music out there. Shout out to Chicago for giving over their city. Shout out to Chicago for giving over their city over into the migrants. Congratulations. Congratulations to you, Chicago. Brandon Johnson, well done. Well done. They walked over there and talked to y'all in Spanish and partial broken English that they learned in your school next to your kids that you pay property taxes for. You should be proud of yourself. Anyways, and then last but not least, San Francisco is deciding that, listen, all of our stores have become so much in disrepair. All of the businesses leave. They got so desperate that they're offering free rent to small businesses looking to fill up the downtown stores because downtown has become absolutely a ghost town. Check it out.
In an effort to fill downtown storefronts, San Francisco is offering businesses up to 6 months of free rent. A lot of spaces were left empty following the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hold on, let me say this. For all of the tough talkers, and it ain't none in the chat today, but I just want to say this. I've gotten into it with people, all of these guys, usually it's some black guys, some tough guys, some little Teletubbies and stuff like that. Some of y'all know who they are, some of y'all not. And a lot of them live in Chicago, and they say, yeah, Anton, you won't come over here to where we stay at. When you was in Chicago, you was on the north side. You was in a safe neighborhood. Let me ask y'all a question. How come y'all won't even take y'all neighborhoods back from people that's invading? This is why, and this is the honest to God truth, I have a zero reservation when I call black culture trash. You can't even survive. You can't even get control of your own neighborhood. You don't have the ability to stop people from coming into your neighborhood that ain't even from this country. How you gonna stop me? How you gonna tell me and censor me and tell me what I can and can't say about your city? Listen, you keep typing hard in the chat. while all of these migrants, you can't even get control of your elected official. You paying a dude and all of these aldermen, all 50 of these aldermen, and your mayor. Y'all paying these people out of your taxes to basically give your neighborhoods over into the worst thing that we see happening in this country. What makes you think that I'm afraid to say what I want to say about you because you can't even get no control in your own neighborhood? Your daughters and your sons ain't even safe walking down the street. What makes you think that my daughter is in great spirits? She can go where she want to go when she want to go. You have no control over your own neighborhoods and your own hoods. You have to look over your shoulder while you go to your job every day. You worried about layoffs. You don't even have no control over your own girl. You tell your girlfriends and your wives not to watch me on the Millionaire Morning Show because you don't want them to see what a representation of a real man look like as far as putting his family in the greatest space possible. All of if you in Chicago, this is my message to you. Shut the fuck up until you fix your own backyard. You have no ability to be able to talk and join in these conversations. If you are from Chicago and you are trying to join in on this political conversation and this process, shut the fuck up until you fix your own backyard. That's my message to Chicagoans. Don't get mad. Fix it. Fix it. I would be pissed if I can't fix. That would be like me giving you relationship advice, but I ain't never been successful in a relationship. How I'm going to sit here and join in on the conversation when I should be focusing all of my energy on what's going on in my own household? That's what the word says. Get the beam out of your own eye. I don't want to hear nothing from you. If you in Chicago and you voted for Lori Lightfoot, shut the fuck up. If you are from Chicago and you voted for Brandon Johnson or you didn't vote at all, shut the fuck up. If you from Chicago and you don't even know who your alderman is, shut the fuck up. Straight up and down. I put that on everything. I don't want to hear from y'all. If you from Chicago, but you be hanging out on live streams talking about what men and women should do in relationships, get the hell off the live stream and fix your own neighborhood. Get your community organization. We don't want to hear from you. We are done with taking opinions from people that can't even fix their own neighborhoods in Chicago. We are done with you. We done. We don't want to hear from you no more. No more. I don't even care about this last segment of Quick Hits. I don't care about the last segment. We done with Chicago, fam. Until Chicago can get control of their own stronghold, we done with you. Forget the 6 months rinse in San Francisco. We done with Chicago. Chicago over. Over. You said your kids is listening. Tell them to listen. Listen, this is what I know for sure. Your kids hear way worse than they hear on the Millionaire Morning Show. Tell them to perk up and pay attention. Now maybe they can get off the devices and start to pay attention to what's going on. Tell your kids to pay attention to what's going on the Millionaire Morning Show. We done. They hear way worse. I guarantee you your kids is hearing somebody talk about DNC all day long. Check their browser history. All kind of nastiness on there. Your kids need to be listening. Tell them to perk up and pay attention to what's going on in the Millionaire. We done with Chicago. We not visiting. We not shopping there. We don't want to see nothing that's going on there. We don't want nothing that got to do with Chicago until you fix your own neighborhood. We over. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your Quick Hits.